For power, you gain power over people.
It's easier.
Make you feel good at the present time.
Much more comfortable way to go.
Fear.
Personal greed.
Habit.
Money.
People lie to make themselves look better.
They're scared somebody's going to find out.
Why do I lie?
To survive these days.
Lies, 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 lies.
Lies that made me happy. Lies that made me blue. You lied to me.
The truth of the matter is, for quite some long time, all that you knew was what I told you.
Excuse me.
Okay. December.
Why do people lie?
That's cool.
Oh, I don't know. Are people lying?
So you always told me as a kid I should never lie.
Did I?
Yeah. That was...
I must have thought that you were a liar. I don't remember ever telling that to your sister. I mean, I think if I taught you not to lie, that was pretty, I mean, that's good.
You know, you're always sort of going around trying to, you know, act like things aren't falling apart, even though they're you know, falling apart.
People probably don't know they're lying. They believe what they read, and they're brought up to believe.
We live in a society that tends to encourage lying, so I think that lying happens all the time on so many levels.
We're either, you know, hiding something, or we're revealing something that doesn't exist. I am a PhD in bioengineering. I have one, I got it from Stanford. Or I have never pilfered funds from any organization I worked for.
Well, what do you want to hear? If it's something you just met, do you want to hear that he works in the local gas station? Would you rather hear that he's a law student? I tend to think that people, when they're being lied to, that it's kind of their fault if they don't realize it, you know? It's kind of their fault if they don't realize they're being lied to, that people ought to be aware when they're being lied to.
To the people that will believe me.
We all believe lies. We just don't know about them just yet.
We're all lying to each other, and we all know we're lying to each other, but we're all pretending that it's fine.
Because it's too much detail to, like, tell the truth. It's always good to, like, lie. And it cuts things short, and people be happy.
People lie about their stinky wounds. Now, stinky wounds are these wounds that have, like, been around for a long time, and you still haven't healed them. And everybody knows about them. They're starting to smell a bit, you know? It's like there's an old Greek myth about this guy who had a wound that was so smelly that his comrades, like, left him on an island, just abandoned him. And basically, we all have these kind of wounds that alienate us from, like, you know, the circle of people. And you'll lie about it because you don't want to bring it up and bring out the smell anymore.
No better way to face the day.
It's what more men reach for: to prepare, to prevent, to protect. Speed Stick, 110% protection, 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 protection.
So they don't have to be close to people. It's a way to be an individual. It's a way to stand back from people and not have them come close. I mean, it's kind of like you set out an image to attract people, but it's also to keep them away from you.
I think it's predicated on looking good, and we say things that make us look more attractive. Like, you know, if someone asks you how you're doing, they don't want to hear about the cysts they're going to have removed. They want to hear everything's fine or some glowing story about your career or whatever. You know. But generally, we just tell them what they want to hear. You know, I don't think it's really lying so much as just putting on a good face.
Maybe people lie because they feel that if they told you they were something better than they were, that maybe you'd be more excited.
Most people are just mediocre chumps, and since nobody wants to be a mediocre chump, if you tell lies, you can make yourself seem a lot more awesome than you really are, because nobody wants to be a mediocre chump. Lies can cover up that chumpness.
Guys are the worst liars, I think, you know, even friends.
Because it's that sex game, man. Back to that, man.
When you get a bunch of guys together, man, they lie. Oh, and then it's to the point where you expect your buddy to lie. You better come up with a good one, matter of fact, you know, or it ain't worth it, you know. Don't nobody want to hear the truth. What can you make up?
Maybe the females, they lie because, you know, they want to lie about their age. They want to look younger. They lie about their hair so they can say that's the color of it.
I used to have fantasies that my mother was Farrah Fawcett and that I was blonde and blue-eyed. I used to have these huge fantasies, and actually I have on videotape the very first time that I ever saw myself in a blonde wig. And it's a really sad moment because you can see on my face, I'm looking at myself and I'm realizing I will never have blonde hair. I'll never be able to pull it off. Because I always thought to myself, as soon as I'm old enough, as soon as my mom can't tell me what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna run out to the store and get a blonde wig, or I'm gonna bleach my hair, and I'm gonna find some way to make my eyes blue. That's how, like, totally determined I was to be something I totally wasn't.
Bombarded by these myths, these modern myths, to the point where the distinction between myth and reality becomes very blurred. And everybody has the kind of a post-television schizophrenia mindset because of that.
I get a huge, huge guilt complex if I lie about just about anything. The other night at the bar, I wouldn't even venture a guess. We must have lied about so many things. They gave me a t-shirt for being the best liar in the bar. You can't trust people anymore, and that's really sad.
You got germs.
You have no self-esteem.
Don't take a chance.
But if you buy our product, you'll have self-esteem. And that's the ultimate lie of advertising. It's an emotional manipulation, and it's emotional manipulation on the national level.
I'm the Marlboro Man.
I don't think the media ever deals in truth. They deal in many different other agendas or products, but they don't deal in truth.
Awful truth. Awful, awful, awful truth.
When you become individualized and start trying to protect your turf and territory, it's just one of the things that comes along with it.
I think a lot of people lie so that you can't get, they'll lie to other people so that you can't get to where they are. You know, they'll lie to send you off in another direction, you know.
Nobody lies. There are no lies.
Everybody lies everywhere. Little ones, big ones, medium-sized ones. So everyone's lying all the time, all over the place.
It's the only way I can. Sometimes it's the only way you could live. By lying a little bit.
Why?
Because you don't want to get in major trouble. Get in trouble. Well, I won't get in trouble. Get in trouble? Don't want to get in trouble.
Why do I lie? I lie to get out of sticky situations.
We're born into a lie, you know. We're born in wombs of water, then we're born on some bright-ass sheets. We're immediately taught to be uncomfortable, you know, not to be ourselves, you know.
My first lie, I was 2 years old, and I'm not going to go into the details because it was embarrassing and scatological. But it was my first deception.
Did you have to learn how to lie?
No.
Comes naturally?
Yeah, it just comes. Comes and sometimes goes.
It's the facts of life. It's just like a fact. People do it because that's the way it is now.
Basically, you're creating your own reality, and if another person calls that a lie, then that's their choice.
So it's okay to manipulate consciously?
Again, I don't know if I'd say manipulate, but you can certainly manipulate your own reality. I mean, everybody does. If you didn't, then you'd just be a spineless worm.
No, it's a universal factor.
I think it's human
everybody
nature.
just lie the same everywhere.
Yeah, I agree. It's human nature.
A lot of lying that people do because that's just the way everybody do it.
The reason why lies surface is because we are living not a linear fashion, and in order to make things fit in that line, we need to lie. Or we need to have a way of making the bond fit, because the bond is much bigger. It's like cycles that are like convolution, like this, the big balls and spheres that are trying to mesh. That's how I see it, they're meshing. And we're just like one of the little gear connections. All of a sudden it changes, and we're like, how come that changed? Well, you lied to keep it for a while. Then all of a sudden the gear comes back in together. There's large cycles of everything that happens. And we are just a linear way of thinking. That's the problem.
That's a lie about a fact. Because were we attacked by the patrol boats of the North Vietnamese, as the government said on national TV and broadcast all over the place, and therefore we must respond to protect our dignity, etc., etc. You know, this huge power of North Vietnam attacking little helpless the United States in the Gulf of Tonkin. I mean, it was just a factual lie about what happened. Because then it turned out, and it took several years for the evidence to accumulate, there was no evidence of an attack at all.
Renewed hostile actions against United States ships on the high seas in the Gulf of Tonkin have today required me to order the military forces of the United States to take action in reply.
A lie is a lie. I mean, it's a misrepresentation of fact. And it's supposed to be a criminal act if it's done under oath. Mr. Johnson didn't say it under oath. He just said it. We don't usually have the president under oath.
Lying by the government on foreign policy became so established. And so, with the Gulf of Tonkin, there seemed to be little hesitation on the part of the government to lie.
Yes, when you need money quickly for any worthwhile purpose, don't wait days to get your loan. Get it in a few hours.
If you tell the truth or if you lie, which is going to get you ahead quickest and which is going to give you the advantage for what you're going for at that moment.
Oh, when the country's at war, you don't say the things that you did before. When the country is at war, you must all be united. When the country is at war, you must all support the troops.
I was strong as I could be, like a rock. Nothing ever got to me.
With the best rust protection, Chevy Full Size is America's best-selling truck. Chevy
Remember,
trucks.
if you need help with any financial problem, you have a friend at Chase Manhattan.
Chevy Full Size is America's best-selling truck. Chevy trucks.
A friend at Chase Manhattan.
Wonderful new world of Fords.
Whoever controls the past controls the future, and whoever controls the present controls the past. In other words, whoever has power in the present, governments, can control what people learn about the past. And if they can control that, they can control the future. They can determine what happens.
No, it probably should be assumed that perhaps the folks aren't going to be telling us everything that's going on.
This is how you do it. If I got him oppressed, and if I don't want him to know what his name is Dwayne, I don't want him to know his name is Dwayne. So I keep telling him his name is Chevy. Your name is Chevy. Your name is Kunta. Chevy. Your name is Chevy, right? And then when I started seeing, oh, wait a minute, he's starting to learn to read, he's starting to evaluate the situation. So I see what he's starting to evaluate. I slide it to him, but slide it to the left. This is actually a hustler's, see, this is the 3-car Molly concept. Now, this is an X3-car Molly thrower. I used to be on the buses. Yeah. Red set your head, black set your back. And it's like that. This man, I would give him the reality that he's D, but I won't give him the Wayne. And I slide him to the left on the D for another 20 years. He'll never discover that he's Dwayne. I'm D. He'll never discover he's Dwayne. I know that's crazy, you know.
Education, like everything else in our culture, like everything else in our life, is not free. It is not free to simply tell the truth about everything as to call the shots as you see them. It's not free because we live in a world in which some people are very rich and some people have nothing, and there are a lot of people in between who are very nervous, and it's a world of class conflict. It's not a, and take the United States, we always like to think, well, sure, there's conflict everywhere else in the rich and poor, but the United States, one big family. Of course, not true. Black and white, rich and poor, you know, in the United States too. In a society like that, of such conflict, in a society which is controlled by people of wealth, they are not going to only control the wealth, they are not only going to use their wealth to control the political mechanisms, and that's not hard to show, to control the political parties. They will use their wealth to control the media and means of communication, to buy up the newspapers and the television stations, and to use their economic clout to influence what people learn, what people hear.
I give you some candy, come to my house, I give you some candy, then they lie to you and kidnap you.
Does that happen a lot?
Yeah, that be shown in American Most Wanted.
And do you believe everything you see on TV?
Yeah.
Yeah. You do?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Not everything.
What is it that you don't believe on TV?
Cartoons.
Why do people lie?
I don't know. No idea.
Lying.
People lie for all kinds of reasons. I don't know why people lie all the time.
So I feel like when I talk on these really broad levels, that it doesn't really get us anywhere for some reason.
Why people what?
Lie.
Well, you give me some change, I can explain why people lie. I can tell you the whole verse of why people... I know you're lying. You see, you just told me about why people lie. Why people lie is because there's a reason. There is a cause because due to the system, people is going to lie because the system is corrupt. The system is not right.
I'm sure there are other cultures, but I think it's ours that will always have lies. It's the way it's structured. I mean, we aren't into family and religion and sharing the space or the air or the land with each other. We're into possessing things. In order to possess things, I think lying is just one of the negative things that come along with that.
I think any country that's in it for any kind of profit is going to have lying. And depending on where you stand would depend on whether you benefit from the lie or you don't benefit from the lie. If you benefit from it, it's probably called good business. If you don't benefit, it's probably called a lie.
It's like this cultural standard for lying that is, that happens everything like in our governments and our corporations. As a public, we're lied to. I think this country is based on greed and accumulation, and those things necessarily involve lying, because if we wouldn't give all this stuff away voluntarily, we'd have to be lied to give it away.
My lies are mainly the women. No, I'm just like, sorry.
So are those like less important?
Huh?
Are those less important lies?
Those are those, I mean, I guess some lies can be sensual, some lies can be the way like that. Some lies can be sensual. Sometimes it's good. Ain't it good to have a good lie in your relationship just now and then? I think women thrive on lies. I think if you didn't lie to your woman at least once a day, she wouldn't be happy. And then she had nothing to be a woman about, just to counteract it,
I think man by nature does lie because, I think it's more manly to lie. It's better for a man to lie than it is a woman, I think lying is kind of a man thing,
And men want all the women.
Because men will do it so easily. It's part of something we don't control.
But it's just like...
You tell a girl in a minute, no, I ain't married.
Yeah, that's just the truth.
And if you think you can get away with it, I lie. Yeah, I ain't married, I ain't got no kids. Nah, that ain't me. That's my brother.
It's the truth. It's the truth.
You need to know. You must learn. It's the same old game. Come on.
Alienation may be disbelief, You just look at those people and you go, God, well, they kind of look happy. But they're alienated because they
believe that everybody should care for each other a lot more than they do.
You find yourself lying on a lot of different levels. I don't know. I mean, some of it I don't find very harmful. I find it harmful to yourself, not as in society as a whole, your personal lying. I think that when everybody is doing the same thing, though, it puts a very shallow existence to society as a whole. And I think that's pretty much what we've got right now. And it makes it pretty fragile, because all it takes is cracking it and it all falls apart.
I think if people are not lying, they might have a little fun.
I don't know if people are lying as far as like society, whether people are lying more than they're telling the truth. Like, more people on the planet right now are lying than people are telling the truth. I'd like to know. That'd be really interesting. I would like to think that people are telling the truth. Like, I'd like to at least ask for like 70-30 or something. Like 70% of the people on the planet are telling the truth and 30 are lying. That would be great. At any one moment, yeah. Or we could have like World Truth Hour, something. I think there'd be like lots of mass chaos if we did that, but it'd be fun. We could just like, everyone must tell the truth for an hour. Just, you have to. It'd be hard for like chronic liars. And people who just like to make up stories. Yeah, there'd probably be like wars and famines and people would shoot each other and steal stuff. I don't think like lying and stealing are necessarily connected and all. Because you can, what about lying to yourself? Because you could lie, you could be lying to yourself, too. I don't even want to get into that.
How do you feel when you find out people lie to you?
When people lie to me, I get really upset. But I usually don't find out that people are lying to me. We're here.
One last thing. I didn't do that.
I have no recollection of anything I've just said.
Okay.
I don't recall. I don't recall, exactly.